And good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to grab my little chat window here. There we go. Um, First of all, if you live somewhere between, I guess, around the Dakotas all the way down into Florida, with the jet stream and everything like that, you've probably seen some smoke around. That's all coming out of the Alberta area. They got a lot of fires up in there, and it's burnt somewhere around 62,000 hectares, I believe it is, a bunch. And so the big thing about that is that's where a lot of their shale oil, the fracking of shale oil and stuff like that comes out of there. And so the fires have gotten about somewhere around 6 miles or so from some of the big production areas. So a lot of the oil companies have kind of shut things down, and in doing so, basically they've shut down about 7%, somewhere around 470,000 barrels a day of oil. So pretty substantial. And if they keep getting bigger and bigger, then might be shutting down some more oil and stuff like that. So we might see good old gasoline and crude oil kind of perking up some. You can kind of, this is a chart here of crude oil. Um, you can see there's a lot of resistance somewhere around 64, 64 and a half dollars. This is a daily chart. So they keep running up there and pulling back, running up there and pulling back. But you can just kind of see right across in here. They just can't seem to hold the things up very well. So, but anyway, that is one thing to kind of keep your eye on. Another thing that we've also got going on. There we go. You can kind of see this is natural gas. Natural gas has kind of been popping up a little bit as well. It's not because of the same reasons. Natural gas is actually we're getting into the warmer season. I'll put it that way. So for power, most of our, well, I say most, half of our power comes from natural gas here in the United States for all the gas turbines and stuff like that that they run and to generate electricity. And when people start running their air conditioners and everything like that, it just puts more demand on things. So a lot of times we'll see natural gas kind of, perk up during the old summer months here. Really needs to probably get above the 385 to really kind of give us an indication that it is going to kind of continue to go up. If it does that, it might move up to the 425, 450 area in natural gas. But natural gas prices probably are going to be a little more on the higher side than lower side. Also, I was kind of reading where um, Russia is still pushing gas into good old Europe over there. They only have one line that they can use now. But outside of that, they are moving some gas over there. So which is probably going to decrease the amount of natural gas that we push over there. The inventories on natural gas came out this morning. We had about 122 billion cubic feet, which they were expecting somewhere around 95 billion or something like that. So it actually came in more. The big thing is right now, they use this time of year to start restoring all of the gas in the ground and stuff like that. They use the old salt mines and everything like that up there in the Midwest to pack all that natural gas down in there so they can pull it out and push it back in just when they need to. So they'll be using the summer months to restore those. And actually, Europe does the same thing. They're pulling a lot of all the gas they can right now to store it in the ground so that when the winter months come around, you have an abundance of gas. So there's that. But kind of a cool little I guess, seasonality thing that we have with natural gas, but on the crude oil side, I'm kind of, interested to see how bad it really gets there in Canada. We get a lot of our additives and stuff like that that we put in our gasolines from Canada. Um, and if they're down, then we won't be getting that, so we'll have to outsource it somewhere else. And who knows what that's going to be like. So, but we might see higher gasoline prices because of it. So we'll kind of keep our ear to the ground and kind of see how that goes about. during those time periods. But that's kind of the big thing to kind of keep your eye on. Another thing that manufacturing is starting to perk up. Just looking at manufacturing numbers and stuff like that, it'll be interesting to see what the non-farm payroll is going to be like tomorrow. But factory orders have picked up and everything like that, which let me grab this real quick. There we go. This is a daily chart of good old copper. Copper popped above $5 this morning. Didn't hold on to it. And that was probably a real good pivot to have right now in copper. I've been waiting for it to get back to $5. It's got a high up at 535. So if we can get back above that $5 area and close there, wouldn't surprise me that we don't go up and retest the highs. And that's also helped silver out. Silver actually, with copper jumping up to $5 here, silver's in a kind of a catch 22, and that's the biggest problem with it. It's a industrial metal, but it's also a precious metal. Copper is an industrial metal. Gold is a precious metal. There, so silver kind of gets pulled around by the two of them. But silver's had a really, really difficult time getting above that uh, $35 area, and there we go. And today it finally did it. Got above $35. Actually got above $36. Kind of pulled back a little bit. Gold kind of dumped off and kind of pulled silver back with a little bit, and also copper. But they're still up on the day. Gold's the weaker one out of the three today. But anyhow, but silver being above $35, just probably poised to try to at least try to get up to 37 and a half or so. Be interested to kind of see if it can do that. Of course, it needs some help out of gold doing it. So, um, and and you've probably been hearing a lot of buzz about this stock. This is CoreWeave. Um, and you can kind of see it's kind of pulled back some today with the markets and everything like that, but it jumped up above 160. It's a real volatile stock, but it has just been in scream mode literally the past 2 months. I mean, it IPO'd down there around $35 and kind of hung out for a month, and then all of a sudden it just took off. And with that taking off, it's just gone up and up and up and up. Little correction there, a little correction there, and it's still moving higher. Um, and seeing that we're $30 from the high, of course, we were only about 10 or $12 up from the high earlier this morning. Um, my guess is if we can get back above 150, it'll probably challenge that high and probably take it out. $200 might be a big target on it just to see if it can get there. But outside of that, this CoreWeave has just kind of been in scream mode. The biggest problem that you're going to run into with it, the options are expensive because it's so volatile. Okay. And it is a volatile stock. And so it'll be really interesting, though. You have to remember this thing is just IPO'd. They've shot this thing up real high. And when they throw their earnings out, um, really be their first quarter of earnings after IPOing. They better make a bunch of money or they're going to slam the stock. So, um, and if you go back to the Facebook days, I guess it's Meta now, they changed their name. But when Facebook first came out, it shot up real big. And then it started selling off because, well, the earnings weren't as great as people thought they were. And it took them about a year before they figured out how Wall Street works. And then all of a sudden, boom, they found out the little formula and poof, off they went. And you see a lot of that in a lot of IPOs. They put the stock out there and they think, look how great we are. And everybody just goes, yeah, but you're not all that great. And so they start selling them off for a while. And then they finally figure out how to, make all the investors happy. And once they do that, they start moving up. And this one, it has moved way up. So I'm really anxious to see what their earnings are like. and see if they can continue to do so. So keep that on the horizon. If you've been watching this stock or even trading this stock or doing whatever, just kind of beware. They hadn't put out earnings officially in the market yet because they're kind of brand new. And once they do that, then we'll get to see if they get to sustain this rally or do they get to pull this thing back to 50 bucks, right? So just be cautious on a lot of these new hot little stocks like this. And just because they need their earnings out there, and if their earnings aren't all that great, they won't last long. So watch out for that. But right now, I think on the energy side, we need to kind of watch to see what happens out of Canada, and really kind of keep our eye on that somewhat. So, but because we might have higher gasoline prices in the United States. Right now, they're saying our gasoline prices are as low as it was back during COVID. If I remember right, we were around $1.79 down here. We're at 2.79. So I don't know where that's going, but anyway, we'll see if they can get the fires out and keep the gas prices down, or if they continue to burn and start destroying stuff, and of course gas prices go back up. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know, and kind of go from there. Oh, how to best kind of okay, hold on. How to best counter an underwater trade with GLD. If you just have the outright calls, yeah, you can sell a call against it. That's one thing that you can do. When it comes to gold, if you're outright long gold or whatever it is, I mean, you look at what gold's done here. Let's just do this real quickly. There we go. Gold is kind of volatile. You're looking at, let's just look at the intraday right now. Yeah, the intraday is still pretty volatile. It moves about 70 bucks a day on average right now. 70, 80 bucks a day on average. So for it to jump up, zing higher, and it kind of pops up and pulls back and is doing that little dance right now. So it's starting to consolidate after kind of the big move that we've had over this time period here. I mean, you have to remember we were down at 31.50, and now we're back up here trying to press against the highs. So have it correcting back today doesn't surprise me one bit, after the kind of the big move that we had up. So I would just kind of be patient with it. The only thing is, if you don't have a whole lot of time left in life on your option, then I would definitely be trying to, sell a call against your long call or a call spread or something like that, and kind of go from there. No, I'd do the dollar wide. Yeah, that'd be fine. I'd do the dollar wide just because there's not that much time on it. Alrighty. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Non-farm payroll tomorrow. So let's kind of see what it does. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the energy and trading energy and stuff like that, I'll be on in about 45 minutes talking about that live. So, but anyway, y'all have a great day, and we'll see what the employment numbers do tomorrow.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you do want to join in on that session where Geof is going to go over and talk about energy later today, it is starting in about 45 minutes. Hit that link I just dropped in the chat. That room will be opening in about 5 minutes.